Now our story continues. Mary Lane walked slowly through the orchard back towards the house. As she came to a certain peach tree, she paused, as she always did, and smiled reflectively. Her mind went back in time 30 years to the day when she and Randolph had planted this tree. When they were done, they had sat down and had talked of their dreams for the future, as young lovers always do. Aunt Mary had seen to it that many of those plans and dreams had come true. When people commended her for all that she had done alone since her husband's death in the First World War, Aunt Mary always replied that she hadn't been alone. But she didn't try to explain what so few would understand, that Randolph's memory was a strong living presence within her, something from which she drew courage, comfort, and happiness, as she had from the man himself. Aunt Mary touched the tree and walked on. She had just come to the egg house when she stopped suddenly.
Oh, my goodness, my pie.
Aunt Mary started to run toward the house. The door of the screen porch slammed behind her as she crossed it quickly, entered the kitchen door.
Hi, Mom. What's the rush?
Well, I was down in the orchard when I suddenly remembered I had a pie in the oven. But I see I needn't have worried. You always know when a pie is done, don't you, Randy?
Sure. The minute I walked into the house, I said, there's something that's about to burn.
I never burned anything in my life.
Well, you weren't around, so I thought I'd be helpful and take it out.
Well, that's very sweet of you, Randy. But you've been helpful enough now. You needn't bother cutting it.
Oh, I don't mind. Save you the trouble later on.
I see. And what are you doing with that plate and fork?
Oh, I have to sample it, don't I? See if it's up to par. Say, Mom, is there any cheese in the icebox?
But you won't need it.
Well, I can't eat apple pie without cheese. You know that.
Nobody's asking you to. Taste it.
Huh? Go on. Hey, I see what you mean. The cheese is already in it. This is a great idea, Mom.
Do you like it?
Madam, don't you think that's a futile question?
Yes, I can see that it is. What are you doing home this time of day, Randy?
Oh, no particular reason. Just tired. Lefty's at the house. He's going to stick around till the men stop work for the day. So I figured I might as well make tracks for home. There's some stuff I want to do around here.
Lefty is taking his partnership with you very seriously, isn't he?
Yeah, he's been a lot of help. We have a swell building crew, but the men work a lot better when you stick close to the job yourself. Not that Lefty and I are breathing down their necks, but say, I forgot to tell you, Mom. The washing machine and refrigerator came this morning.
Good. That must be a relief.
You're not kidding. I was afraid we were going to have to open the house for inspection without them, and they're definitely a must. Sure, you can tell people that a range, washing machine, refrigerator, and so forth are included in the price of the house, but when they're actually there, when they can see them, that makes a difference.
Oh, of course it does. But, Randy, you aren't going to have any trouble selling a house as pretty and as desirable as that one.
Well, Mom, Lefty and I decided to ask $16,000 for it, and in a town like ours, that's a lot of moolah.
It is in any town, I'd say.
No, I mean that people with that kind of dough to invest are pretty scarce in a little town like this.
Well, yes, that's probably true. But I don't see how you could ask much less for the house and lot and make anything. Lefty was telling me last night that the house alone was costing you every cent of $12,000.
Yeah, it is. And then there's your loan and the bank's to be paid with interest. So Lefty and I won't be making any excessive profit on the money we put into the project. And, of course, that wasn't the idea. I didn't go into this thing expecting to make a killing.
But, Randy, will you make enough from this model house to start your subdivision project?
Well, it'll be a tight squeeze, but I think I can swing it. The only thing is, of course, if the house just sits there.
You aren't still worried about that, are you, son?
No. And I'll tell you why. Because I have a buyer.
What?
I didn't tell you this, Mom, but a few days ago, it was the day you came by, remember?
Tuesday, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Well, anyway, Ben Calvert stopped by to give us the once-over. Very genial, very amused.
Amused?
Oh, sure. He wanted to make it clear that what I was attempting was pretty funny to an old hand in the real estate game like himself. What he said, in effect, was that when I realized I had a white elephant on my hands, he'd buy the house.
Oh. You mean Ben's your customer?
That's right. Of course, he's figuring on buying it at a distressed price. That would mean that you and the bank would get paid off, but Lefty and I would lose our shirts. Ben knows I haven't any capital. But you know, Mom, nothing could have given me more confidence. Because I could tell from the way Ben talked, he's sure I have a great thing there. And I think the old boy's envious as all get out. Jealous that he didn't think of the idea. He figures that time is in his favor. We won't be able to make a quick sale, so he'll be able to force us to sell the house to him. And he wants that house. Whatever you can say about Ben, he's no dummy where business is concerned.
No, that's certainly true enough.
Yep. From where I sit right at this moment, Mom, the future wears a very enticing smile. She promises good, Mom. She promises plenty good.
But the future, Randy, has another face which you can't see. At this very moment, your future is being altered by two people who mean nothing to you. Two people to whom you mean nothing as a person, who think of you only as a means to an end. Sitting in Brett Cameron's living room, Jesse Calvert has just heard him say,
"Because if your husband, darling, has changed his will, then this plan of mine is absolutely worthless. We can just forget the whole thing."
Yes, I see what you mean. But he won't have. I'm quite sure of that.
Well, I'm inclined to agree with him. Still, we have to make certain. Then the day of the bazaar, you'll telephone Ben's lawyer?
Yes, Fred, I'll call Farnsworth. At the moment, I don't know what I'll say, but I should be able to think of something. But Brett, afterwards, when he's found, won't Farnsworth think it's peculiar that I called him that same day? Don't you suppose he
No. You'll call him on some pretext that has nothing to do with Ben. Besides, suppose he should wonder about you. Don't forget you'll have been at the party at the hotel the whole evening long. Don't forget there isn't going to be any mystery about Ben's death and who killed him. Everything will point to Randy Lane. Lucy will have let him in and have left the house, leaving Randy and Ben together. The whole town knows the feeling that exists between your husband and Randy.
Yes, I know, but...
But what?
I'm just sorry in a way that it has to be Randy. But if he's convicted, suppose he's sent to the jail.
Oh, I doubt if he will be. The jury will probably feel that there isn't enough direct evidence to recommend the death penalty. After all, his fingerprints won't be found on the poker.
Brett.
Besides, fine young chap like that, good reputation.
Well, there's no help for it, is there?
Afraid not. What's the matter? Why are you looking at me like that?
Strange. I was just wondering how you felt knowing you were going to kill a man.
Well, at the moment, I don't feel anything at all. I'll probably be a little nervous when the time comes.
When the time comes. Oh, I don't know whether to wish it would never come or to wish it were already behind us. The night of the charity bazaar, just a few weeks away. Brett, are you sure it will go all right?
What do you think? Can you find any fault at all with the plan?
No. No, I can't. If I can just bring Ben around to make that appointment with Randy and the call to Farnsworth, those are still two pretty good sizes, but... And supposing
Supposing what?
Supposing I learn that Ben has changed his will to include Kid again. Then, as you say, this plan is worthless. There's no point in doing anything.
That's right.
Then what about us, Brett? Do you think you can stand to start the whole Willie business over again? I don't think I could. To start working on Ben again. But...
No. No, Jesse, if we have to give up this plan, or if for any reason we fail, it'll be the end. We won't try anything more.
You mean we'll just wait then? Wait for the day Ben's heart gives out? You mean you'll be satisfied with what I do inherit?
Take that hopeful look out of your eye, Jesse. No, I won't be satisfied. I told you it had to be all of Ben's money or nothing. And I'm not going to sit around and wait for ages for the old boy to kick off.
Then what do you mean?
I don't see how I can make it any clearer. I mean, it'll be the end. Finished. Washed up. Done with. It'll mean that I give up. That I'll leave Wakefield and try my luck and fortune somewhere else.
And did it mean?
Yes, darling. And leave you.
Jessie Calvert knew that he meant it. And she also knew that she would work fervently to see that they didn't fail. Yes, Randy, the future does wear a different face. One which you can't see.